Hello students, welcome to Ekam Academy. I am Major SPS Oberoi. In this small video, as we know that the UPSC results have been declared, the mains results have been declared very recently. So many of the students who have successfully passed this mains examination have been calling me and requesting me to make this video on the right approach to interview preparation. See, generally what happens is, in the UPSC preparation journey, many institutes provide you guidance, support, hand-holding for your prelims preparation and mains preparation, but generally people do not support you in your interview preparation, which is also an important dimension of your preparation. Okay, so this video is primarily for the students who have passed your mains examination and are preparing for the interview, which is starting in January. Okay, now in this video I'll try to tell you what is the right approach for your interview preparation, what should be the strategy. So towards this end, Ekam IAS Academy is launching a new program called Interview Guidance Program IGP 2023-2024. So what does this program entail? In this program, we shall give you stage-wise preparation strategy for your interview program. Now that the DAF filling has been completed, so based on your DAF, what can be asked, based on current affairs, what can be asked, based on your past academic qualification, what can be asked, based on your past what you call personal life experiences, what can be asked in the interview. In this entire scheme of IGP, we shall be teaching you on this. Also, as part of the IGP 2023-2024, at the end of the course, we shall also have mock interviews, two-stage mock interviews, first stage and second stage. It means your mock interviews will be done twice, not once, done twice, both in Hyderabad and Delhi. So we'll do your mock interviews in Hyderabad also and also in Delhi, where eminent bureaucrats and technical experts from a particular subject would be part of the group who will be doing your interview as it happens in the UPSC real-time environment. Okay, we'll take on board certain experts from different fields to guide you as part of the IGP program. Okay, starting with the discussion. Firstly, the first and foremost question is, does one need preparation for the interview? This is a very good question actually, because one of my students asked, sir, I have studied so much, do I need to prepare specially for interview? The answer to this question is both a yes and also a no. You would be surprised, how can the answer be both yes or no? Yes. If your preparation strategy from day one has been that one day I have to face the interview board, if that is so, then you do not need any special preparation for interview. But you have concentrated your preparation primarily from prelims or mains perspective only, forgetting the requirement of interview, then the preparation guidance for interview is a must. Now, what is the difference, sir? You may ask me this question. Understand, the difference is, when you read any subject, be it polity, be it economy or anything, we generally tend to read these subjects basically from information perspective. We read these subjects from information perspective and do not develop any opinion related to these subjects. So what happens is, say for example, we can talk about various dimensions which are there in news, like current affairs. For example, the polity current affairs, as we all know, the abrogation of Article 370 is in news. The same-sex marriage related to judicial pronouncements related to this is in news. Now, when you prepared for prelims and mains, you primarily prepared this dimension only from information perspective. But what UPSC wants you to do is also develop an opinion related to this. So what we shall do in this IGP program is, we will give you a complete list of topics that can be asked to you in the interview from various subjects, starting from polity till history. So subjects like polity, economy, IR, internal security, social issues, governance, all this questionnaire will be shared with you, where you need to develop your opinion on all the issues that are going in news today, so that if a question is asked from that perspective, you are ready with your answer. Understand, we are not making you by heart these answers. Please try to not misunderstand. It is not about making you by heart. It is about making an opinion on this based on your personality. Okay. So this is how you both in this, because if you have missed this part, this shade of your preparation strategy, then you definitely need support in your interview preparation, right? The next question, what qualities to display in interview? It means, what is he looking in my interview? Understand these three golden words: body, language and thought. Body, language and thought. Why have you bifurcated body and language, sir? It is generally called body language. No. Why I have bifurcated is, see, understand, when the interview board sees a student, prospective student for the first time, your appearance also matters. Your appearance also matters. So, you need to prepare your physical appearance also for interview, because you are from the age bracket of 21 to 32, assuming you are a general category student, you are a bracket of age 21 to 32. How you appear? Do you appear to be energetic person, or do you appear to be a person who is dull or morose? Also important. So you need to develop a personality that oozes energy and not dullness out of you. This is the most important prerequisite, because they assume that because you are in this age bracket, you should be bubbling with energy. Second is how you speak. Very, very important, how you speak. See, this is not a question of English. Please do not misunderstand. When you talk, how you speak, this is primarily from the perspective of how you display your opinion on an issue. So, the right choice of words and the vocabulary, and also the framing of sentences is important. Trust me, we will train you primarily on these two dimensions, where you can make the rightful impact to the audience, that is the UPSC board. And thought, what comes under the thought is basically whether you have been successful in aligning your thought with the constitutional framework or not, and also from the ethical point of view or not. So your thought should reflect the existing social thought. You should not be it should not so happen that your thought is not aligned with the societal thought. Say for example, today we all agree that the chance for women to get educated should be promoted. So your thought should also align with that. Now we are debating on same-sex marriage. See, at least we are debating, though we may not have accepted this as of now, but we have started debating whether these people should get their rightful choice or not. So your thought process should be reflective of this societal thought process. Trust me, your entire interview is based on these three words only. Okay? So we will try to improve your vocabulary on this. Entire preparation strategy would be based on this. Okay? How to start preparation? ये सबसे मुश्किल सवाल है. How to start preparation? How is the biggest factor? Now, remember, इस बात को याद रखो कि the preparation starts. The interview preparation technically should have started when you started your UPSC preparation. But if you have not done so, then what you have to do is, you have to start with your DAF. Very important, the DAF form that you have filled, every word that you have written in your DAF form can attract a question. So whatever you have written, be it academic profile, be it your place related information, be it any extracurricular activity, if you have been a working professional, where all you have been working, be it data related to, if you are from a reservation category, you should know every dimension of your reservation category. If you are a scheduled caste, about that tribe or an OBC, very important. Everything about your parents' if you have made a special mention about it, every dimension you should start preparing. So the first step to your preparation starts with your DAF preparation. Based on my information that I have given, if I have done graduation, say I am an MBBS doctor, what kind of questions may be asked to me in the interview room? Like you being a doctor, MBBS doctor, why do you think you should be made an IAS? And if you are made an IAS, technically you have what you call, diluted one seat of MBBS, which somebody who wanted to continue in that profession could have used. So your interview preparation starts at this particular stage. So as part of the IGP program, every aspect of your DAF would be discussed in person by the mentor who is guiding you for your interview. Each and every dimension of your DAF would be what you call discussed upon, which is very important. Then how to approach the GS subject. This is the second stage. Once your DAF is complete, once your preparation on your DAF is complete, that is when we will enter the phase of GS subjects. As I told you, we shall be giving you the entire list of subjects that you would be preparing, starting from polity, economy, IR and internal security, very important part of your interview preparation. Then social issues, again very important. Social issues, governance issues, very important, and also your optional. We'll talk about your optional in the next slide probably. So as of now, we'll concentrate on these topics. So what we shall be doing is, we will give you questionnaire on each of the topics that could be probable questions in your what you call interview, and we under the guidance of a mentor will try to find out an opinionated answers to all the questions that we give. So what this will bring in, it will elevate your confidence in interview. See, it may so happen, say for example, in polity I give you 200 questions, in economy I will give you 300 questions. There is a probability that the polity question that you are asked in the interview may be beyond this. Doesn't matter, because now that you have already prepared for 200 questions on polity, any question beyond that, I am sure you will be able to confidently answer that question. So the same goes with other subjects as well. Trust me, your interview will not end. Again, I am making a statement. Trust me, your interview will not end without a question on IR and internal security. IR very important because the Russia-Ukraine war is happening, because the Israel-Palestine is happening, and so many dimensions related to United Nations functioning is in the news. All these things are happening. So 100% you will be asked a question from IR and internal security. Okay? So we will be giving you questionnaires. Now, how to answer social issues based questions? See, understand, these social issues based questions, you cannot find what you call template answers in any textbook. You will not find template answers. Now, say for example, social issues we discussed, same-sex marriage is one social issue that is happening in the what you call in the country, discussions happening in the country. We know very recently the Supreme Court also gave its judgment on the same-sex marriage, where it said that probably the time has not come to give it as a matter of fundamental right. Right? Now, you need to understand what this society is doing nowadays, how the society is reacting. Understand, the time period of 1980s and 1990s, this was the time period where the societal preferences got superior or were given more weightage than individual preferences. So what will happen in this backdrop, where if the society disapproves of any particular right, an individual will not be given that particular right. But however, from the dawn of the 21st century, we are observing that the societal preferences are taking a back seat and individual preferences are taking the front seat. So whenever you answer a question on social issues in a platform of UPSC interview, you have to understand on a particular social issue, how is the movement in the society happening. If the society is moving towards individual rights or individual preferences, your answer should be given in that direction. So as part of IGP, whatever social issues are happening in our country, we shall be guiding you in making opinion on these particular social issues that can reflect very positively about your personality to the interview board. Okay. Now, next is how to play safe in controversial questions. See, controversial questions are given to the students basically to check the grounding of a student. Understand this dimension. What is this grounding? What is he trying to check in this grounding is basically he wants to see if I put you under discomfort in asking a particular question, do you shake internally or not? This is what the board wants to see. So whenever you are asked a controversial question in an interview setting, there is a very easiest way to ground your answer based on either constitutional provisions or ethical ground. Whenever you do this, automatically you will get a beautiful answer to give. For example, in the state of Telangana, there was an issue related to Disha encounter case. We all know that the entire country celebrated where the police personnel in an extrajudicial killing eliminated all the accused in the Disha case. Now, though the nation accepted this kind of action by the police force, but this is a controversial question. You have to always ground your answer on the constitutional provisions. So whenever there is any question where you may be dragged into a controversy, always take the help of constitutional provisions as a safer side to answer any controversial question. Okay? So many questions we'll share. Around 180 to 185 questions are there from the controversial point of view, like the office of governor, the office of president, the same-sex marriage, Article 370, the CAA, India-China relations, India-Russia relations, India's silence in Russia-Ukraine, India's vocalness in Israel-Palestine. All these questions are part of your controversial list of questions only. Okay? How to prepare optional? This is probably the biggest, if you have not studied, what you call deliberately for your optional, you may face a little bit of difficulty here. What I sincerely suggest is, for your optional, more importantly, paper 1 is important than paper 2, irrespective of your optional, whether it is anthropology, sociology, history, geography, whatever it is. It is primarily the paper 1 which is more important, where the opinion of a thinker matters, So I suggest you to brush up whatever is the ground of a thinker about any issue for that matter. Say if you take the example of political science and international relations as an optional, there is always a possibility of the board asking you a question. Suggest how the political journey of your existing Prime Minister Modi is linked with Plato's idea of ideal king. They may ask you this. So now, if you do not know what Plato spoke in the dimension of ideal king, how an ideal king should be, you may not be able to link it with what Modi is trying to do. So try to understand whatever your political thinkers are talking about an issue, what is the present reflection of that issue in the society. If you try to address this issue, I am sure 60 to 70% of your questions in optional, you can make an informed guess. So this is how you are supposed to prepare for your optional, be it anthropology, be it sociology, be it political science, geography or history for that matter. Okay. Now, how to prepare for situational based questions? Now, what is the difference between situational based questions and current affairs? They might give you a situation. So they will say, okay, you are coming out of a theater after watching a late night show with one of your friends. While coming down the lane, you see 4 people in a doubtful condition waiting for you to cross them. So what would you do in this scenario? Understand, in these kind of situational questions, they are primarily trying to test your presence of mind. They are trying to test your presence of mind. How you avoid the situation. If you cannot avoid the situation, how you will confront the situation and how you will get out of that situation. This is how. Understand, at some point of time, they are checking your bravery also. At some point of time, they are checking your intellect also. So not necessarily you have to confront them. If you can avoid them, it is easier to avoid. Maybe immediately inform some people concerned, maybe the nearest police station, and inform them, while I was coming out of the theater, I saw these people standing outside the theater in the nearby lane. I feel they are anti-social elements. Somebody may find a trouble. So this is how you have to come out of a logical solution. So situational base, we call it situational reaction test. In the prism of psychology, we call it situational reaction test. So we will also put you to certain situational test as part of your IGP, wherein you will be mastering facing the situational based questions in the interview program. I shall be personally dealing with these segments so that you get the best of support for your interview preparation. Okay. Now, how to prepare for DAF questions? I told you in the initial part itself, the DAF questions have to be prepared under the guidance of a mentor. You need to share all the details of your life, family, academics, profession, everything, and in his presence try to make a list of questions that can be probably asked. And most important dimension from the DAF that you may find it difficult is to answer the questions related to hobbies and interest. See, most of the students do not know the difference between hobby and interest. The biggest difference between hobby and interest is what you do when you have some spare time to spare for yourself. But hobby is one thing for which you take out time to pursue that interest. So that is how the basic difference you need to understand. Now, the question is, what kind of an hobby can make an impression on the board? Understand, as I told you before also, because you are a student of this particular age group, a hobby that is more extrovert in nature, the hobby that is more extrovert in nature will fetch you more marks than a hobby which is introvert in nature. It does not mean you will not get good marks. No. Why? Understand, if you say, sir, I am a football player and I regularly go for practice, I play for university, I played for university, I am playing for a local club. So if a person actually proves that it is his hobby, interest in that particular sport, obviously a person who writes painting as his hobby, he would get more marks, because they expect a student, a person of your age, to be physically fit. Remember I told you body, very, very important. So try to understand what shade of your personality you need to showcase to the board so that you get extra marks. So understand, each and every mark of interview is very important. Though by now you would have written your hobbies, so whatever you would have written, even if it is painting, try to go deeper into the hobby and try to frame some questions. If as part of the IGP, if you share your DAF, we will make a customized list of questions that can be asked from your DAF to you. And trust me, minimum to minimum 40 to 45% of your interview would be based on DAF. I am saying minimum to minimum. It could go up to 80% also, depending on what you have written in the DAF. if you have written something which finds the attention and interest of the board, trust me, 80% of your interview will hover around DAF only. But if there is nothing new there, that is when the board will try to take you to situational based questions, current affairs based questions, optional based questions. All these dimensions would be then opened up for the interview to continue. But if your DAF is strong, trust me, 80% of your interview at times can happen through DAF only. This was the case with me in 2011-12, where 80 to 85% of the questions were asked to me from my DIF only. So one needs to be, that's the reason why we say one needs to be extra cautious when we write anything in our DAF. Okay? Now, how to prepare for some personal questions? See, now the biggest question is, what is this personal question? For example, in the initial I gave you a small example. Say for example, you have been a student of chartered accountancy. Now, suddenly you decided I will leave that, I will get into IAS or I want to become IPS. So this is where it becomes very difficult to prove to the board why this shift has happened. So this is where you need to be ready with your answers. Ready with your answers. See, understand, trust me, you can create your own killing area for the board members to come and fall into it, or you go and fall into the killing area created by the board. So that is why I am saying, whenever you go for interview, make an effort to expect 80 to 90% of the interview you should lead, where, how, what questions they should ask you. You should lead them. Never give a question or an answer in a particular way that will open up another question, the answer to which you do not have. If you do that, you are going into the killing area of the board. But if you give a question ka answer where you feel I am confident if a leading question is asked from my answer, then you have brought them to your killing area to the entire board. So from your DAF, the personal questions will 100% come from your DAF only. So try to understand what kind of difficult personal questions can be asked to me. Say for example, one more way of asking a question, personal question is, say in 10th class you had 60%, in your plus 2 you got 55%, and in your graduation you got 50%. Now there is a decreasing order. Now they will ask you questions. Hello mister, what is happening? Why your graph is going down? So you should be ready with your answer that should sound unique, that should sound genuine. Very important. Why I am using this word genuine is, in UPSC interview, trust me, nothing pays as much as honesty does. Nothing pays as much as honesty does. If you are confidently giving the reasons, honestly, why you did not perform well academically, year after year your performance went down, if you are unique and genuine and honest in your responses, the board will accept it. Trust it. You may have gold medals in your graduations and post graduations, the board will not give any what you call weightage to it, provided in this scenario you are honest in your approach. So there is a list of certain personal questions. We shall customize it for you based on your DAF, on which you shall be framing your answers to be given to the board. Okay. So with this I come to the end of today's lecture. But before we close today's lecture, I want to make a sincere request to all the students who are going for your interview. Before you go for your interview, do send your DAF to us. Even if you do not want to be part of the complete this thing, let us make a list of the probable questions that can be asked to you, that you do not feel shocked when the board asks these questions to you. We will leave our numbers on the view file. Feel free to call us. In fact, you can also request the counselor to schedule a personal counseling with me. You can always request the counselor, sir, please schedule a personal counseling session over phone or over a video call or in personal with Oberoi Sir. They will schedule it for you. Based on my availability, based on other factors, they will surely allow you to speak to me directly. Okay. So for any assistance related to your interview preparation, we are very much eager to help you. Hope that all of you who have cleared the mains examination do well for your interview. At any stage of your interview preparation, you seek our assistance. We are just a call or a message away. Okay. Thank you very much. Hoping to interact with all of you personally. Thank you. Jai Hind.